Hello there and welcome to the 2nd October update for 2016. Just a quick update on some of the work I've been doing on the incline and also some planning work I've been doing at the east end of the layout. Hope you enjoy, and as always post any comments. Thanks. Right, I'm now at the point with the west end incline of getting ready to lay the track. As you can see there, I've got the foam fitted down, and I've then got the cork on top, and then I've put the power base plates on top of those, and as you can see I've got the whole lot glued in place right the way round to the top of the incline, and they'll continue round till they meet the turnout there. Okay, so I'm just going to take the blue plastic film off the top of the plates and then give them a quick rub with a bit of glass paper just to give them a key for the surface for the glue to attach to, and then I'm going to start gluing the track down section by section. Okay. What I've got here is a mock-up made from grey board of the bridge section and the retaining wall at the east end of the station. As I say, I just knocked this up to kind of give a feel for what I wanted when I make it out of plastic card and then cover it in embossed brick sheet. And to the left here we've got the bridge. As you can see, I've got three kind of recessed panels, as is quite common on bridges and brickwork of the era that I'm kind of trying to portray. And I've got the two buttress walls at each side of it. The inside will also be lined with brick textured card, and it will come out the other side, which I'll show you in a minute. The panelled retaining walls here will also be brick. As you see, the one on the left, the first one's got a parapet wall on it. I'm not sure if that's going to stay there. The one on the right has obviously had it taken away. I'm just kind of toying with the idea just now of actually having it, you know, for the first couple, and then just having the capping on the walls for the rest. So if I take that away, that's how it might look. From this angle, actually looks pretty good. And just have obviously the ballast on the track above, weeds or undergrowth, and then you've got the kind of concrete capping or whatever, the stone capping on the top of the wall. The alternative to that is obviously putting the parapet walls on top of maybe the first two or three. I'll put that one back in there, obviously with the buttress wall at the top as well. If I take the camera, the reason for doing that is the first two and a half panels there are tight against the raised section ply. Then it starts to open out with the curve of the lower tracks, and it will come further out with a bigger gap between the wall and this bit, and that's where it will have a small kind of embankment for the cutting. So I'm going to bring the wall out, step it out, lower it, and then have it lower all the way along, all the way to the end of that MDF board there where the signal is, before it goes to the next bridge and it rises up again. So I'm not sure at the moment whether to go with the parapet wall as it is here, and obviously that small gap in there would also have one, or to take it away and just have the capping on top of the wall like that. So what option is best? The bridge sticking above the retaining wall like that, with just the stone capping on the wall, or the parapet wall version. If you want to give me your opinions on that, I'm not decided yet on what to do. I could do either or, and what would happen is, as I say, the first two or three would have the wall. It would stop with a buttress. It would be stepped down, come out, and then run along towards the next bridge. Okay, your views on that would be appreciated. Now I'm going to move to the other side where the track comes out to show you the other side of the bridge stroke tunnel. Okay, you can see here I've squared off the entrance to the section where the track goes under the raised part, and all I've done there is I cut the ply, the old parts, you can see the different colour, and I got my jigsaw and I cut round, marked out and cut round, and I've screwed it back down with some extra supports. And what's going to happen here is going to be a brick entrance, very similar to the one on the other side that I showed you a moment ago. Some retaining walls that taper down with the embankment on both sides, so it forms a nice cutting, and then it will build again to the incline that I kind of covered in my previous update, which I've not done any more on. I've just hoovered it up because I was working on the designs for the walls and the entrance to the tunnel. What I'm using is embossed sheet, and I just prime it, grey primer, and then I used a Humbrol brick coloured paint on top. And then what I've done is I've taken a very watered down mortar paint, painted the whole thing, and then wiped off the excess to give the the render mortar in between the bricks. You can see there's kind of varied parts there, because there's always varied parts in the colour of brickwork, depending on which day it was put in. The mortar might be a different colour depending on what batch of bricks it was. They might be fired for slightly longer or less, or depends where they were when they were getting fired, whether in the front of the kiln or the back. They would vary in colour. This isn't finished yet. I've still got to add a wee more variation and obviously weathering onto it. I don't think the light's giving you the best effect on it just now, but I'm quite pleased with how it's turned out. This is just plain bond brick. I'm going for a more Flemish or an English bond for the tunnel, bridge, etc., because it's obviously built quite a while ago, and that brick was more prominent back in the day, as opposed to the plain brick, which is more of a more modern version. If I lay it down, hopefully you see it a bit better, like that. You get reflections of the light. So that's what I've decided to go for. That's the method I've chosen. What I did do is I did try the dry brushing technique, where I painted it all in mortar and then dry brushed the brick on top, but it was painstakingly slow, and I've got a lot of retaining wall to do here, with this part, the tapered part, and all along the section I just talked about moments ago. So that was, and I wasn't really happy with the kind of effect it was getting. So I might use that on, say, smaller structures and buildings, but for a retaining wall, I think I'll go with this option here. And again, you give me your thoughts on that, see what you think. I hope the camera's picking it up okay. I say the Humbrol was the main base coat for the paint, and I've used I think it was Rail Match dark red brick, and light red brick, just to kind of highlight it. Dry brush on top after I'd put the mortar down. I dry brushed on top of that very slightly, just to give it that difference, and I hope you can maybe pick out some of the different brickwork shades there. I'm going to go over it with weathering powders, and maybe give it a dark wash, just to kind of tone it down a wee bit, with some of the lime coming through the brick, through the salt. Okay, so give me your thoughts on what you think of that, if it's even being picked up properly on the camera. Alright. What I was busy doing in my last update was laying the power base on the incline. I've now done that, and I've also fixed the track in place. And what this does now is it completes the loop. The incline is now connected to the main line and also the TMD via the turnout there. And what that can do is, if a train leaves, say, the station via the tunnels, it can come round that track there, loop under and past the backboards here, round by the storage yard. It comes up from under what will be the town scene, and then joins the upper section and runs in an anti-clockwise direction. If it then wants to go back down to the station section, or the lower running section, it can leave via the incline at the other end. Vice versa, if it leaves the station through the road bridge with the level crossing on it, it comes up the far incline, comes round the upper section, and can run as far as it likes in a clockwise. But when it wants to go back down to the lower section, it uses the new incline, which goes down under the town scene, loops behind me through the storage yard, behind the back boards there, and comes out there. And what it does then, it can go either to the through rail, for example an HST or an express, or if it's a terminating service, it goes into the right hand track there and ends up in one of the bay platforms at the station. So that really is the loop complete as far as the track laying is concerned, and I'm really pleased to eventually get that done. And I'll show you some running shots of I think it will do the class 47 in a complete kind of loop of all the new sections to show how, you know, much running and variation it can have before it, you know, goes back to complete the loop.